Hey, what's up guys? Brad with the Squared Away Everyday channel. If you haven't had a chance yet, please go ahead and like the video and sub to the channel. That would be awesome. Today we're going to be taking a look at blacking out your Tesla. So whether you've got a Model 3, which that's what this is a performance Model 3, a Model X, a Model S, or a Model Y, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to apply. And we'll talk about costs and the little nuances, like did I go satin black on this or gloss black on that, or what percentage tint I did here, or what I did with the reflectors, all that good stuff. And it's super cold outside right this second. It's like 5 degrees. I already filmed this whole video actually, but I deleted the intro. So here I am again, filming it again in 5 degrees. So I'm probably purple at this point. But let's take a look at it. If you haven't had a chance yet, like I said, go ahead and like and subscribe. That would be sweet. And let's take a look at it. Here we are at the Performance Model 3. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, this will apply to really any Tesla, but there's a lot of questions I get on just blacking this thing out in general. And I had a lot of questions before I did it, so I figured I'd do this video real quick. You'll notice the entire vehicle's blacked out, but I do have a bit of color on the brakes there. Now, a lot of people will go with a red. Go with whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter. But put something on those brakes just to kind of break up the black blob. Give it a little bit of definition. I went with a copper matte metallic, and that's actually a wrap. We'll talk about that in 1 second here, but it looks super good. And I kind of decided to go with like a Duracell theme. Duracell battery, EV car, I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Sorry if I'm breathing a little hard. It's like 3 degrees right now. So I'll try to make this palatable. But anyway, let's start at the front. We've got the smoked headlights, and it's actually a light smoke. You're talking maybe like a 30% tint on those headlights. I have no tint on these lower fogs. Some of you guys are just gonna have real fogs. Some of the Model 3s are not gonna have real fogs down there, but either way, I opted to not tint those. I wanted to have the most light coming out as possible, was still blacking this thing out. And so for me, I didn't need to do it. It's got kind of a black housing behind it, you can see. And really, when you back up here, you can't really tell that those aren't smoked. They already kind of look like it. So we got these front headlights smoked in like a 30-ish% or light smoke, and that's a high quality 3M tint. And then if we move to the back, we've got the rear taillights also smoked. And this is a dark tint. You're probably talking like 10% here. Same thing, like a 3M tint. And I also have these reflectors tinted as well. These are matching the taillights right here. Sorry for the car. But yeah, the lower reflectors and the tint on the back are actually the same. And like I said, they're considered a dark tint, and I think that's about a 10% on the rear. Now let's talk about light transmission a little bit. And for me, on these taillights, man, they're still very, very bright. You're maybe losing like 10-15% of the actual brightness coming out of those things. And I'm in the state of Colorado, so you need to be able to see the taillights within 500 feet or from 500 feet for it to be legal. So those are definitely still legal. Now let's talk about the headlights though. You can't really tell, but I've got a 50% window tint on the windshield here. Same 3M high quality tint. Get whatever tint you need. There's a lot of high quality manufacturers nowadays, but I don't know. I went with 3M. But anyway, These headlights, you're probably getting 50% light transmission out of those, believe it or not, even though it's a lesser tint. I don't know what it is, but the throw is a little different, and you're probably getting 50% less light. Now, the good thing is these lights are already extremely bright, so it's still manageable, but the 50% less light coupled with the windshield being tinted, I don't know, we'll see. It looks awesome, but if you've been watching my channel for any length of period of time, you'll know that I'm a function over form guy, so I may end up taking the headlight tint off, and that would be the only thing that I'd change on this. So let's talk about price. It cost me for the front headlights here and for the rear taillights and the reflectors, it was $300 to get those done. And I think that was well worth it. Now let's continue on with the tint. So as I mentioned, I've got a 50% tint on this windshield, 50. And when you're inside, you really can't tell that it's tinted at all. From the outside, it's even kind of hard. It just looks like there's a glare on the windshield. Now in the state of Colorado, that is illegal. So I don't know, check your state and local laws. I don't really care, it's not super noticeable. If we look at these side doors, the tint on these guys is 15%, 15%. And then if you look, whoops, this back window here is tinted already just from the factory. This whole pano glass is already tinted from the factory, and then it stops like just above the top coil here for the defrosters. So what I had them do at the shop is they just tinted from the base of the window up just a little bit past this top coil, and it made the price a lot more reasonable as opposed to just tinting the entire half of this pano roof, because it's just kind of an uncommon size, so they'll charge you a lot of money to go ahead and do that. Now that's also 15% tint on the rear, and so we've got 15% on all the doors, and then this little side window, and then on that rear window, and then we've got 50% on the windshield. And I think it came out really, really good, and you can still see pretty well out of the vehicle entirely. Cost-wise, it was $150 for the windshield, and it was about $325, maybe $350 for the doors and then the rear as well. So that's what we're looking at tint-wise. And then this is kind of the important part. You know, when I went to go get mine done, this is actually, just to let you know, this is a Obsidian black paint on this Performance Model 3. They didn't run it very long on the Model 3s. But honestly, being how cold it is today and how overcast, it looks just like the piano black. You wouldn't be able to tell on a day like this. But when it's sunny, you can certainly tell. So anyway, those of you that have the piano black, this all still applies. But pretty much for me, I wasn't going to go with a gloss black because it wasn't going to match the metallic properly. And it'd be one of those things where it looks like you're trying to match it, but you didn't. And it just kind of looks like shit. So I went ahead and did a satin black on all of the chrome. So all of this used to be chrome, the trim around the doors, the door handles used to be chrome. You can see it, just how good those look. And the housing for these mirrors here, the side mirrors, and then also the housing for these cameras. And so, sorry about the car. So all of these are actually in satin black. And satin black, when you go to get, you know, your tint, or I'm sorry, your vinyl wrap or powder coated wheels, whatever, they may call it like a 20% semi-gloss or a satin black. It's all the same thing. It's just got a slight little gloss to it. Don't do matte black. Matte black is going to be too chalky, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to clean, kind of like truck bed liner. So I would avoid that at all costs and just go with satin. So when we're talking about the chrome delete here, when you've got a chrome delete, you're looking at probably $650 to $850 to get a full chrome delete on your Model 3. If it's like a Model X, you'll probably be looking at a little more. Model Y will be pretty similar, and so will the Model S. But yeah, so we're looking at about, I paid $750 for mine. And make sure when you go to get yours done that they wrap the entire door handle, not just the front. They take the door handles off and wrap the entire thing. Same thing with these housings for the for the mirrors here. Make sure they wrap the entire thing, because these mirrors fold in and out. And you want to make sure that the whole thing is black, regardless of if the windows are open or the side mirrors are open or not. Okay, now finally, let's talk about the wheels. The wheels came out super cool on these, or on this. This is actually a powder coat. This is not a wrap. So I just dropped off all 4 wheels and had the powder coat shop do it. It was $600, and they called this a semi-gloss, or 20% gloss is what this was called. And it's really just, again, a satin black, and it was $600 for me to get that done on all 4. $600, and I thought that was actually pretty good, and it came out very, very nice. Now these center caps, these Tesla T's, and the Tesla T's on the badge of the Tesla badges on the hood and on the trunk were separate. I had those powder coated as well, and I think they charged me $125 for all 4 wheel caps and the Tesla badge on the front and the rear. So $600 for the powder coat on the wheels, $125 for the caps in the badges. And then these little lugs here, these lug caps, are just something I bought off Amazon, and they were like $20. Or yeah, I think it was something like that, $20. Okay, now when we talk about these brakes here, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the entire build that we have started here, and I really like that matte metallic copper. It looks so good. I didn't even know you could wrap brakes, and apparently it lasts super good and for a super long time. But anyway, for all 4 of those, it cost $550, and it came out super good on them. Looks awesome with the black. And like I said, I would recommend that you get some sort of color on your brakes, just so that you don't have this big black blob of a vehicle. So $550 for the wrap. And then the very last thing, I went ahead and took off the dual motor performance badge that was all chrome. And I just bought this one. It's got a little snow on it. The whole car does, actually. That's what you're seeing there. But anyway, this dual motor badge is just in satin black. And I also bought that on Amazon. And I think it was like, I don't know, $15 or $20, something like that. And that came out really well. So just tore the old one off, put the new one on, and that looks good. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's really what it took to black this thing out. And it looks so good. It's a very dramatic look when you go with something like this. But dang, it looks very, very nice. So anyway, I've been stoked with my build so far. If you haven't had a chance yet, please go ahead and like the vid if you dug it, and give me a sub. And we'll see you guys in the next one.